How do you quickly center when you are caught in a heightened state of charge? Okay. A couple of things. First, you got to recognize the pattern. What's your trigger point? What is the thing that triggers you off? So once you've recognized what it is that triggers you off, the way somebody says something to you, the way they speak to you, the thing they do or they don't do, and then your response to it. So once you've recognized your trigger and your response to it, is you do your normal centering. So you have your center, you know what it is physically, mentally, whatever way it is that you do it. You can do it. It's not like you can't do it. Is just holding your center at times when you're triggered. Know when it's coming, which means you got to pay attention to the pattern of whatever it is. Recognize when the trigger comes, and then be ready for it. So be ready for it before it happens, and then stay grounded, and is how can I say it? Let yourself feel whatever the feeling is in it, whatever the trigger is. Let yourself feel it, but you don't have to act or react to it. If you do react to it, is undo it rather than just let it go. So what is your preferred response that you would have is give that response afterwards. So catch your trigger before it happens and be ready for it. Have your response if you want, or just stay grounded, as in, rather than snapping, is you just stay quiet. If you know you want to communicate something differently, well then communicate that. I'd prefer if you didn't do that. I'd prefer if you didn't put everything sitting on the edge of the ledge. I prefer if that wasn't your go-to move, because it drives me effing mad. So, but if you do trigger, is undo your trigger's response by redoing your response to the one that you want, so that you're not allowing the charge to carry on. So there's a responsibility for you to recognize your trigger and your reaction to it, to recognize your preferred response that works for you and the other person. It has to work for both. Catch it before, catch it during, or catch it afterwards. So you're allowing for insight, is it's happening. Even foresight, you can see it coming, so you're being foresightful, you're being insightful, it's happening in the moment. But if it happens afterwards, is you have to allow hindsight, and not to punish yourself in any of those. So don't be punishing yourself because you can see it coming. Don't punish yourself when it happens, and don't punish yourself afterwards. Is use it as an anchor to a new response. So whether you do it or not, whether you're triggered or not, is you're given a different response. And the more energy that comes through that response, with the more you communicate a different way, and you get a response that's favorable for you and the other person or the situation, maybe not the other person, for you, is you'll find an energy and a reward in that. You anchor yourself into that value. So therefore you're taking the charge and the value out of the old trigger, and it fades away. And that's it. There's another way to describe it, Kelly. I'm talking about reframing. On the teacher training course, it's you reframing, and reframing to a way that works for you, and preferably it's a win-win for everybody around you. But again, it's not treating yourself to punishment. It's using your triggers as your teacher itself. So you don't hit yourself with a stick. Is you use it as a learning moment. Okay, and again, most people, when they see you looking to adjust your own behavior in a more preferred way for everybody, is most people are actually quite forgiving and supporting in that. Most people are, because they'll see the effort somebody's putting into it. And that's one of the ways that can make it easier too. So it'd be very nice. You know that. But there you go. That's my answer to you.